Devin Haney he's gonna be that opponent. Of course, I want to fight him. I want to fight Tank first, of course. But you know, it is what it is. If we can make Devin, let's make Devin. Why not? Let's go.
Great news. It looks like Ryan Garcia in his victory over Luke Campbell now becomes the mandatory for WBC champion Devin Haney. We're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, Ryan Garcia, he was in a hard-nosed, hard-fought victory over Luke Campbell, Eddie Hearn fighter. And Eddie Hearn, you know, he is another fighter of his loss in a couple weeks' time. Caleb Smith lost to also Ryan's stablemate, Canelo. And then now Luke Campbell was just knocked out. Vicious body shot by Ryan Garcia in the 7th round to end things. And he had to face some adversity there, because he was dropped in only the 2nd round of their fight. And Luke Campbell, he came to fight. You know, they both came to fight. So it was a real good fight to crack off and get it jumping for 2021. Now, we're going to talk about it. I made a report about this. The winner of this fight, Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia, which we now know is Ryan Garcia, is in line to face Devin Haney. And you see that WBC interim strap around his belt. Now, before I get started, once again, I keep saying the same things in boxing, and people say, oh, you're playing the race card and this and that, but you see it continually happen over and over and again, and nobody's proved me wrong. DAZN tried to pitch this narrative that Ryan Garcia is above and beyond a belt, and a belt doesn't define him. He's only 22 years old, and basically DAZN was, through their representative, DAZN by far has the worst commentary in the game. That's for starters. But then they start pitching this notion that Ryan Garcia, since he's popular, that he shouldn't be subject to a belt. A belt doesn't define him, like almost as if he's Canelo Alvarez or a Floyd Mayweather and he don't need a belt, you know, so he shouldn't have to fight Devin Haney because he's above it all, you know. And I think that sends the wrong message. Ryan Garcia has never been a champion with an actual belt, and this is what they do, the haters and detractors, when it comes to African American fighters, old media, right? Where Devin Haney, people are content calling him the 2-time email champion, but he tried to fight Luke Campbell himself. He even signed to Eddie Hearn thinking he was going to get the fight. Boom, Lomachenko and Top Rank came up and scooped, and they fought Luke Campbell. And then Ryan Garcia got him, you know. Devin Haney tried to fight against Lomachenko. He was baiting him. He was taunting him. He was calling him Nomachenko. Couldn't get that fight. They made Lomachenko the franchise champion when Devin became the mandatory. Now you have DAZN pitching this notion that Ryan is too good for belts and he should be able to move around, I guess, like this Canelo type figure and not have to fight as mandatory, which is BS. But luckily, Devin Haney's promoter, Eddie Hearn, posted this right after the fight. You know, he just lost one fighter and he's ready to make the next order of business. Eddie Hearn says on his verified account, "You just boxed a final eliminator to fight him. Fight will now be ordered. Great fight." At WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, at Real Devin Haney, at Devin, you know, that's Devin's handle, and then at DAZN. Listen, this needs to happen. Now, when they were talking about Luke Campbell, if you guys remember, it took forever for the Ryan Garcia Luke Campbell fight to actually come off. And I knew to me, it was a step up for Ryan Garcia. So I think that's one of the reasons why it took so long. I don't think Golden Boy really wanted to make that fight. You know, Ryan, he's a fighter, and he showed you that after he got dropped. He got up, courageous, tons of heart. You know, I give all the glory and respect to Ryan Garcia. He showed he got heart, you know, and he's a true fighter, and was still in there he was making mistakes and flaws, which I'm going to do some other videos to kind of talk about that, but I want him to celebrate his moment, and I got to put the video together. So make sure you guys check for that on the channel. But, you know, tons of credit to Ryan Garcia because he stayed in there. He hit Luke Campbell hard as hell with the body shot, and he showed he's a true fighter. You know, people were labeling him Backstreet Boy and, you know, this teeny bop dude, and he showed he had heart. You got to respect that. So the funny thing is, DAZN was sitting up here rolling out the red carpet for Ryan Garcia, saying, hey, you know, you're above mandatories. You shouldn't have to fight that guy, Devin Haney. And Ryan said in the video you guys seen at the beginning, he says, yeah, I want to fight Tank. You know, that's my goal. But if I can't get Tank, let's make the Devin Haney fight. True fighter-ish. You know, respect to Ryan Garcia, because he not ducking or dodging. People said, oh, you got dropped and I seen flaws and stuff, but he's not pressed about it. He shows he's a true fighter, bro. So I respect that about Ryan Garcia, because DAZN, they were like rolling out the carpet and you know, trying to set it up where Ryan Garcia was like, oh yeah, I'm the A side over Devin, and Ryan actually spoke like a true fighter as opposed to a businessman. Luke Campbell, this was his message after the loss. You seen great sportsmanship. He said, well, I'm honestly heartbroken. I really wanted to bring the win back for you all. I am sorry for that. I hope you all enjoyed the fight. It was a very good fight. Have to take my hat off to Ryan Garcia. Well done, and a massive future ahead of him. I wish him all the best, right? So great sportsmanship. Love to see it. Devin Haney, this is what he said. He said, okay, Ryan, decent performance, Ryan Garcia. Now you're my mandatory. Let's make it happen. Listen, the bottom line is this fight needs to happen. That's one of the, on top of Luke Campbell being a step in the right direction, I knew the winner of that fight was going to be the WBC mandatory to fight Devin Haney. And I don't think Golden Boy would want back-to-back hard fights. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Devin Haney, somebody's going to have to see it. Look, see, this is what the deal is. Devin Haney says, I'm the boogeyman. The boogeyman is back. But nobody's proven him wrong. He's saying he's the boogeyman, and he's looking like the boogeyman because he's calling for all the top-level work. And the only person that I've kind of really seen even, you know, seem like they want to fight him is probably Javier Fortuna. You know, Ryan Garcia, he called him out, yeah, but we'll see with Ryan Garcia's next move. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Golden Boy after a tough fight with Luke Campbell. Rest up for Ryan Garcia, but I got to see it. You know, I got to see Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. They fought, I think it's 5 or 6 times as amateurs. Ryan won some of them. Devin won some of them. I heard different accounts of what happened. And, you know, it was a good performance. Ryan coming of age type of performance where he was challenged with Luke Campbell. This is a great fight out of this new generation. And you notice every single interview, Devin Haney is embracing it. He said he wants to fight Tank. He said he wanted to fight Lomachenko. He was down to fight Luke Campbell when he first signed to Eddie Hearn. He says he wants to fight Ryan Garcia. He said, let's make it. Let's make it. You all, like, he has the same demeanor. He really about it. He really about what he says he's about, you know? So somebody got to give Devin Haney the opportunity. Like, only in the sport of boxing do you see this type of BS where you got a guy who has a belt. You're supposed to want to get a belt off of somebody. And this is not directed to Ryan Garcia. This is more so the politics, because I just told you Ryan Garcia, he's a true fighter. He showed you that he had heart, in the Luke Campbell fight. But I'm just saying, in the politics of boxing, if Oscar De La Hoya doesn't make this fight with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, what part of the game is this? What part of the game is this, and what kind of trend does that set in boxing, where you got a guy like Ryan Garcia who has an interim belt and he says he wants to fight. Devin, wants to fight. And, you see him working with Floyd Mayweather. This got a lot of publicity and he's skilled. Ryan Garcia got his own style. He has speed and power. The fans would love the fight. And Ryan should want to get a belt like that, to fight the guy that has the belt for real. And that's Devin Haney. But I'm telling you, this is what they often do. The detractors, the bigots, the racists in the sport of boxing, when it comes to African-American fighters, they'll laugh at Devin Haney and say, oh, ha, 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 ha. He's the 2-time email champion, but he's trying to get the smoke and fight all the guys he needs to fight to prove his actual credentials. So somebody got to answer that call and actually make the fight. So I think the stage is set. Eddie Hearn, did a good job of promptly letting it be known, tagging the WBC. Listen, if the W is going to be highly predictable, if the WBC, who has often showed favoritism towards certain fighters like Canelo, certain people like Lomachenko and Golden Boy and Bob Arum and Top Rank at times, it'll be too obvious if the WBC, tries to make Devin Haney fight only Javier Fortuna instead of making the Ryan Garcia fight. So I can't wait. Mark this video down. If Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and both fighters said they wanted to fight, so there can't be no witness protection. Devin wants to work, Ryan wants to work, and I'm a customer and I would love to pay for this. So, they need to make this fight. So this is great news as far as I'm concerned. Devin Haney's on board. I know Bill Haney's on board. Eddie Hearn's on board. So it just takes for the WBC to actually order it and Golden Boy to be on board. Ryan Garcia already said he was on board. We need to see this. Listen, there's no shame in losing. He almost could have lost versus Luke Campbell. You can't play God when it comes to this boxing game. You can't play boxing, but you also can't play God in boxing. Trying to spare somebody and build them up and let them marinate and this and that. It don't work like that. Just make the relevant fights when the fans are asking for it. And, we got to do a better job as fans of just supporting it, not like illegally streaming. Some people, actually pay for these fights when they're doing it right like that. Pay for these fights, support the fighters if they lose. Like when it's a fight like this, man, I will celebrate it. Like, even if no matter who loses, Ryan or Devin, I'm going to give props to the winner if they lose and hold a good account of themselves. You see what I'm saying? We got to get off that. Look at the UFC. Some of these dudes have 11, 15 losses and stuff. And like Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and the fans in the UFC still mess with him. So there's no shame in losing. We got to stop this fake witness protection stuff. Oh, there's my video right there. Shout out to Devin. We got to stop this witness protection stuff. Devin wants it. People keep calling him the email champ and all this goofy stuff. But this is the moment where those people and those fans have to embrace the fight and put pressure on the WBC and Oscar De La Hoya to do what their fighter wants, Ryan Garcia, and make the fight. He says, if I can't get the Tank fight, I would love to fight Devin Haney. So guess what? Tank's an A-side, and that's a harder fight to facilitate. These guys, the pressure needs to be all on DAZN, WBC, Golden Boy, and Ryan, because at the end of the day, there's no reason that a guy, you see the belt, he has a real WBC belt, a shiny belt, they should be chomping at the bit. Anybody who doesn't have that belt, should be chomping at the bit to fight Devin Haney to prove their worth, and that's just how I see it. So the pressure is on. I'm going to definitely stay in tune with this. Ryan says he wants it. Devin says he wants it. Bill Haney says he wants it. It's a great fight to make. Some people have questions about Devin's power. Ryan, nobody questions his power. Some people have questions about Ryan's defense. No one has questions about Devin's defense. So it's a good stylistic fight and a rematch from the amateurs. So let's see it. Again, Tank hard, that's harder to make. How is it that DAZN as a streaming app and a platform have some of these same guys like Andrade, and he can't get Canelo even when he was on the app? Andrade can't get Triple G, but Jaime Munguia might get Triple G. You see oftentimes what they do to African American fighters. Devin Haney, he's young, Ryan's young. One of them can lose and they can still bounce back from it. But stop robbing the fans of these opportunities. Let's make 2021 an awesome one. You know, let's make this a great year. 2020 was rough for a lot of people. I really want to see Devin Haney get an opportunity, and then we can see what's what, period. So I would like to see fighters not get held back. I understand a trajectory and stuff like that, but you know, what if Luke Campbell knocked out Ryan? It looked like it was not out of the realm of possibilities in that second round, you know? So stop squandering it and trying to hold off. He could lose to, let's say they make Ryan Garcia versus Jorge Linares or something. He could possibly lose to him. You never know. So you might as well make the bigger fight that gets you more money that the fans want to see, maybe get a trilogy or a rematch out of it. And, you know, boxing continues to grow and move on. So that's what I think. I'll be staying in touch with this. Devin Haney got to get a crack at, he's the champion. Why should a champion have to beg for people to want to challenge him? He's really the boogeyman at this weight class. Teofimo said he wants $10 million. Like, really? But you'll fight George Camboso, you know, and most likely get a lot less than 10 million. And it'll be a less respected name in boxing. You know, it's just a lot of politics, people. Now, use my link ESPN Plus is $5.99 for the standalone app, or get the bundle ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps for one low price. But I can't wait to see what's next. These young fighters seem like they want to fight each other. Let's get it cracking. Let's see it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Again, LSI, as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.